So I'm sure this is the review everyone was waiting for. Maybe, maybe not, who knows. So, Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm going to be talking about spoilers, obviously. I mean, it's been spoiled to death on the internet by, like, everyone. So, it's not really a big deal if I do it now, when it's, like, you know, a year later. But better than never, I suppose, you know. So, Spider-Man No Way Home opens up with them immediately going off from the previous movie. And it's Peter Parker and MJ and his whole family kind of dealing with the situation of everyone knowing now that he's Spider-Man, which I kind of wish they would have delved into a little bit further in the movie. They kind of touch up on it a little bit, like just enough to be like, we did deal with it, you know, we did talk about it. But it was pretty cool. They had Matt Murdock in there from the TV show, the Daredevil TV show from Netflix. I thought it was pretty cool. I haven't watched all of the Daredevil seasons. I've seen like a few episodes from season 1. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. I just didn't watch it. But yeah, so he helps clear everything up. So Peter Parker goes to Doctor Strange. He's like, hey, I want everyone to forget that I was Spider-Man. And Doctor Strange is like, all right, cool. As he's whipping up the spell, he's like, oh, actually, can I get da-da-da-da-da-da-da? You know, and Doctor Strange keeps changing it, and it becomes too much, and then they're just like, you know, he messes up the spell. Which, really, to me, I'm just like, that's my one part that I kind of, okay. Things I don't like about the movie, just one of them real quick, all right? I don't know how I feel about Doctor Strange being so, like, I don't like how Doctor Strange is so okay with changing the whole universe and stuff, because, I mean, they had a whole thing about him changing the universe and altering things in the first Doctor Strange movie, you know, like, it's a big deal. I don't really like that Doctor Strange is just like, oh, yeah, sure, you know, I'll do this. And then his buddy is like, bro, don't do that. But he's like, I'm not going to stop you, but don't. And then Doctor Strange is like, you know, whatever, it'll be fine. We're buddies, you know, we saved the universe once. Like, I guess saving the universe once and being buddies just qualifies altering a part of reality. Whatever, but I guess it had to happen, you know, Doctor Strange had to be a little lenient for the movie, for the plot to happen. So anyways, everything gets all crazy, and then everyone already knows, villains from all the different Spider-Man movies from before come out, they start causing chaos and stuff. They start capturing them up. Doctor Strange gives Spider-Man a magic wand wrist gauntlet thing, and he just pew pew, you know, the villains into these little cages. And then I really liked Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin, just really amazing. I really like that they got rid of Green Goblin's mask. It's really great, you know, they're just like, hey, we heard you don't like it, get it out of here, all right? Skedaddle, scram, all right? And having the dichotomy of, you know, not just being the Green Goblin, but also Norman Osborn was really awesome. I like that he wasn't just the Green Goblin the whole time. He had both sides in the movie, and he had like actually a pretty substantial part where he was just Norman Osborn, and his like subconscious of like the Green Goblin like went away purposely to convince everyone that he was fine or whatever. Like, you know, whoopsies. You know, I was kind of bad at first, but now I'm good. Even Jamie Foxx. I thought Jamie Foxx, he kind of had like a moment or two where he was cool because he wasn't really that cool in Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I like how he even references that he's like, you know, he like pops up and he's like, no, I'm not blue anymore. I'm not cringe, you know? Says he feels different and all that and stuff. And I like how at the end in the final fight, like he's like shooting up like a electric charge and like his mask, you know, lights up kind of like the old cheesy original Electro mask and stuff. Like they did like a really cool job at like, actually his outfit still doesn't even look anything like the like that yellow and green spandex outfit that Electro had in the old comic books and stuff. I mean, there's no way you can make that look cool. That is impossible. But anyways, so they start, trying to cure the villains and stuff of, being a lizard and having electricity, whatever. Because Doctor Strange is like, all these villains are going to die once they go back to their place. Peter's like, they shouldn't die, which they're trying to cure all they're trying to cure all the villains and send them back to the world because Doctor Strange is telling them, hey, they all die by a Spider-Man and stuff. Once you send them back, they're going to die. I don't understand what curing them does. I mean, unless I forgot a specific part in the movie where it explains like curing them saves them, but I don't remember that. I just think Peter Parker, Tom Holland came to like a conclusion like, hey, if I cure these people, then they're not going to die. But I don't know how that works. And also, they said they all die by Spider-Man. I haven't watched Spider-Man 3 in a long time, but I'm pretty sure I remember at the end, Sandman doesn't die. He actually becomes almost kind of a good guy-ish at the end of Spider-Man 3. So unless something happened and then, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, decides to kill him, that's awkward. So Doctor Strange doesn't like it. He's like, all right, I'm going to kill all these guys. Tom Holland's like, nope, and, does his Spider-Man thing, and then Doctor Strange's Spider-Man fight. Doctor Strange opens up like this mirror dimension or whatever, and it's all like geometry and stuff, and I really like that they use this moment to not only make a really cool and visually appealing fight, but they used it as well to give Tom Holland a moment where he's like actually like, oh yeah, this is geometry, I can do this, and that's what he's been kind of going to school for and like trying to do. I don't know geometry, man, but he's using geometry and shit and traps Doctor Strange in his little mirrorverse, and they come back, it doesn't work out, and then they have to basically fight the rest of the villains. And then a really sick fight between Green Goblin and Tom Holland Spider-Man goes down, and I absolutely love the fight scene. I love the fisticuffs throwing, it is really sick. Really impressive stuff. And so the fight between Tom Holland and Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, absolutely amazing. Absolutely love the choreography and the fighting. And then Spider-Man does that thing where he flips and then like webs himself to the floor and like shoots Green Goblin through the floor. Like, dude, that was sick. Spider-Man's just punching him and stuff, and like Willem Dafoe is just like laughing and like being crazy. I'm like, dude, that is sick. And then obviously it comes to the part, everyone's, well, not everyone's talking about, but a big part, Aunt May gets killed and gets hit by the glider. And this is like my reaction in the theater. I was, here I am minding my business watching this movie, and then it hits me with this. And I'm just like, oh my God, oh. And then, they do little tricksies on you, she gets up and she's fine, she's like walking around, she's like, oh yeah, I'm Aunt May, and then she just falls back over and dies. I'm like, oh my God. They tricked me, I was sad and then I wasn't, and then I was sad again. Like they really were just doing that to me. She, says the iconic line, with great power comes great responsibility, and, a great, obviously a great line, and they use it later for the movie. So all Tom Holland now is thinking is revenge, and he just wants to kill the Green Goblin. Eventually Ned, he gets the little portal ring finger doohickey thing. And this is another problem I have with this movie is how quickly Ned was just like, he's just like, oh, like, I don't know, doing some gesture with his hands, and it kind of makes the portal thing move. And I'm just like, really? Come on. Like, it was just like, a bunch of small, like, if it was one or two things, like, I would have been like, but there's a bunch of, like, little things that I'm just like, well, you really needed to do that for this to happen. So anyways, Ned, he starts doing the thing, and he's like, oh yeah, let's find Spider-Man. And, you see Spider-Man, and you're like, oh my God, it's Tom Holland, there he goes. He's coming towards you at the screen, and you're like, wait a minute. This looks fishy. Oh my. Is that? Oh my God, it's Andrew Garfield. He does his Andrew Garfield thing, he's like, hey, I'm Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man. And, they have like a cute little moment. It's real wholesome. By the way, Andrew Garfield in this movie absolutely kills it. It's not Andrew Garfield's fault that the Amazing Spider-Man movies were not really that good. Because he was a great Spider-Man. I thought he was still a good Peter Parker, but I don't think he was as good of a Peter Parker as like, Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland. But I still liked his character. It was still really good. And they really give him some good moments in this movie, which I really do appreciate. And I think a lot of people like that. They're just like, oh, let's open up another portal, see if we find Tom Holland, And then it doesn't work out, and then for the better. And then, so Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man steps through, and he's just all like, pizza time. So Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield go over and find Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They give him advice from, their personal experiences, their losses, and like what they went through, the emotions they felt when they were going through their little like revenge quest, or how they felt. And they're basically saying, hey, it's not worth it. You need to move past this. And they're giving them all this really great advice. And when they're talking to Tom Holland, you can see it in like Tobey Maguire's eyes. Like he's like, yeah, I killed a guy because I thought it would make me better or make me feel better, but it didn't. And I'm just like, wow, you could really feel the emotion. I really love that. So eventually they all come together and they're like, all right, we got to work together to cure these guys. And so they go into like a little lab, and it's really cute. They're making all these references and jokes and stuff. And some of I don't know if anybody noticed it, or maybe it's just me, but some of the music cues sounded like they came from some of the like Amazing Spider-Man movies and some of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films. If anybody is like, if I'm wrong about that, let me know. But like, I'm pretty sure some of them were like renditions of those older movies' music cues, and I thought that was pretty cool. I really liked that a lot. So they go to the Statue of Liberty that has Captain America's shield hanging up on it, to go and fight the other villains. It's really sick. And then Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they've never been in a team before, which I never even thought about that until they brought that up in the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess they really haven't. And then Tom Holland's like, oh, I've been on a team, which like one time, like, but come on, dude, like really, do you really know how to like do teamwork? Like you weren't even like the leader, like Iron Man was, like R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? But like he was part of the team. He wasn't like a team leader or something. He doesn't have necessarily like leadership experience. And I was like, really, like I kind of would have liked it if Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the senior, the veteran Spider-Man, would have taken charge of that. But I guess they had to do it. Like Tom Holland had to do it because it's like his movie, and they don't want to take too much away from him because Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are just supporting cast members of the movie. Just like, yeah, okay, all right. So anyways, they start curing all the villains. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin comes out of nowhere, and they start fighting him, and Tom Holland's about to kill him, but Tobey Maguire stops him, and with just using his face, he's just like, don't do it, don't kill him. The multiverse or whatever starts cracking around them, and Tom Holland, feels like he really just doesn't have any other choice, and he's just like, Doctor Strange, just make everyone forget about me. And it is like one of the, they really just try to just can just squeeze you. They really just try to squeeze your heart. I was just like, and it was working because I was getting emotional. I was like, oh my God, this is really sad. Everyone forgets Peter Parker. Everyone goes back to their universe. And at the end of the film, Peter Parker tries to go up to MJ and make her remember, or give her a breakdown of their whole character arc or whatever. And he has a moment where he's just like, I'm not gonna do that. I think he has a moment where he's like, I think I'm better off on my own. Kind of like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He doesn't want anybody to know because he doesn't want anybody to get close to him or let his villains know because he doesn't want anybody to get hurt. And the way the movie ends, it really feels like, okay, this is the start of Spider-Man, because he goes into he moves into an apartment, and the apartment to me is very, very eerily similar to Tobey Maguire's apartment in the previous films. It looks all very similar, which if it is, that's cool. He makes his own little suit. He's swinging through New York on Christmas, which officially Spider-Man No Way Home is a Christmas movie. And the movie ends. So kind of my general thoughts. Okay, so general thoughts over, temporary. Just remembered, I forgot one thing that I really, really loved. I want to talk more about Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. He just had a moment. You see MJ fall over the rafting, in the final battle. She falls over. Tom Holland tries to rescue her, misses, and then Andrew Garfield saves her. It's like a callback to him not being able to save Gwen Stacy. I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's really cute. I really liked that. It was really nice. They gave him a little moment like that. I appreciated that. All right, anyways, back to my thoughts. Overall, I think the movie is really good. The mindset I had when I was watching the trailers was too much of thinking of this as just a individual movie. It's just trying to make it it's supposed to be its own movie, but you can't really look at the Marvel Universe movies anymore. They're just at this point, the Marvel movies are just really, 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 really long TV episodes that are just put on in a theater. That's basically what these are at this point. They're really expensive TV episodes to watch, because if we're talking about this as you're reviewing this as just this movie, it's a lot worse than what it is, because you would have to go back and watch every single movie. You'd even have to watch all the original Spider-Man movies if you really wanted to get the full grasp of what this movie's trying to accomplish and do. So that's almost 30 movies you have to watch to pretty much get up to this point for everything to make complete sense to you. And that is a lot. That is a lot of movies to watch just for the one movie. But they're going off the assumption that everyone who's watching this movie is a fan of Spider-Man. They love Spider-Man, and they want something that is a love letter to Spider-Man. And I love that. I really love it a lot. I love that, there's so many little references to people who, if they read the comic books, if they watch all the other movies, if they watch the Marvel movies, whatever, there's tons of references for everyone to enjoy this movie and just get a little, exhale of the nostrils, if you will, from the movie. And I love that. I think the way that they handled the movie was probably the best way they could, even with all the gripes that I have for the movie. I couldn't have done a better job. I can't think of a better way that they could have handled certain situations. I think the way that they did it was probably the most fun way. I think that they looked at this movie and they were like, how fun can we make this movie? How much fun can we have with the audience and tug at their emotional heartstrings? What can we do to not only make this a fun movie, but make it a good, impactful movie? Because you have fun movies that are the Fast and Furious movies. You know, those are just turn off your brain and just watch it. Just have fun. Don't think about anything that's happening. Don't think about, you know, gravity. Just watch the movie. But I think this came from a fanboy logic and a obviously Disney Marvel Cinematic Universe logic, and they put it together to make this movie. And I think for the most part, well, I think for the most part they did an absolutely brilliant job. But some of the characters, like for instance, like the Lizard Man, he didn't really get that much time. But that's kind of expected when you have so many characters in the movie. You know, he only had like 3 or 4 lines. Sandman, I kind of wish they would have done more, but I mean, you didn't really need to do more with him because pretty much his whole goal of the movie was like, I just want to get back to my daughter, you know, she's dying. You know, I don't have any money, I need to get back to her. But I think I'm really impressed with how they were able to cram so many characters into one movie and make it not feel like totally everyone was left out. It was amazing how they, like, I would say aside from the Lizard and Sandman, I would say I feel like every character had a little moment in the movie. And that was really great. I really liked that a lot. The jokes were all really funny. Even I can't believe they even did I'm not gonna lie, I don't care what anybody says. I absolutely love where, you know, Willem Dafoe, he's captured and he's, you know, I'm something of a scientist myself. I'm like, I couldn't believe they really put that in the movie. I was like, at that point when they had that joke in the movie, I was like, okay, all right. This is clearly just a love letter for Spider-Man, you know, even the memes, you know, we're throwing in the memes in this movie now, which is great. I would definitely recommend, you know, anybody that loves Spider-Man, that loves Marvel, loves the Marvel Cinematic Universe, whatever, definitely go watch this movie. Absolutely fantastic movie. And if it wasn't so difficult for me to go watch the movie where I am right now, I would have totally already watched it dozens of other times. But I'm glad I still got a chance to see it, make this review, because I mean, that's my very first video was about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, and you know, that's kind of also what inspired me to want to really start making YouTube videos, because I just really love Spider-Man so much. I think he's a really great character. So yeah,